Well, two district attorneys call it a justified shooting, but the family of a man who died believes DAs can't be trusted to objectively investigate their colleagues.
In tonight's Commonwealth Confidential State of Policing, we examine how the state looks into an officer's use of deadly force and how it can differ depending on the county. Here's NBC 10's Glenn Jones.
In 3.5 seconds, officers fire 31 shots. At least 26 bullets hit 41-year-old Justin Root. He did not survive.
I like that little one on the piano there.
Yeah.
Almost 5 years later, Justin's family still mourns his death, still motivated to seek justice.
You're convinced that Justin posed no threat to law enforcement on that day?
I know he was no threat. 100%.
A Norfolk County DA investigation concluded the 6 officers involved in the February 2020 shooting were objectively reasonable and justified for using deadly force. After watching the Karen Reed trial,
The names of some of the officers.
Root's family is even more skeptical.
Like Proctor, for instance.
They don't believe anyone should trust the close relationship between state police and district attorneys.
What next step will give you greater confidence in the process?
Having an independent investigation with independent fact-finding.
And is that because you don't trust the Norfolk County DA's office?
I mean, the investigation they did was pathetic. And I didn't even know that law enforcement investigates themselves. I mean, they have close working relationships with the DA's office. They're in a community here. I mean, they can't be impartial and they can't be transparent.
Justin Root had a chronic mental illness, according to his family. His spontaneous encounter with a cop outside Brigham and Women's Hospital in Boston was chaotic. One officer reported Root flashed a gun. Another said he fired it. Root led police on a high-speed chase, ending with a crash in Brookline. Officers say when he didn't obey their commands and reached into his jacket, they fired. Root did not have a handgun, according to the final investigation, didn't shoot anybody. It was a paintball gun.
Proctor told my stepmother that Justin had shot someone at the hospital, and then in Brookline, he wouldn't put down the gun, and therefore they had to shoot him. And we know that both of those things aren't true.
According to investigators, responding officers and witnesses on scene that day thought Root's gun was real and believed it had been fired.
I think we're the appropriate agency, and I can't think of anybody that would be better.
James Bigelow is a former MSP detective, now a criminal justice professor. He believes the public can trust DAs to be objective.
If a DA felt that there was some conflict of interest or some inappropriate relationship, that he would be on top of that. As a supervisor, I assumed there was no issue unless somebody came to me and said there was an issue.
Since 2018, the DA here in Middlesex County has recused herself and instead used the judicial inquest to investigate officer-involved shootings. DA Marion Ryan's office tells me that the inquest process is impartial, it's transparent, and the family's attorney can cross-examine witnesses under oath.
Colonel Jeff Noble, the new Mass State Police leader on the job for about a month now, is from New Jersey. There, an independent team representing the state's attorney general swoops in when there's an officer-involved shooting. They specifically eradicate conflicts of interest.
Fantastic photo.
Justin's family hopes a new investigation means a new legacy for the state.
I like to say it's not even just about Justin's case. It's about the other cases.
A spokesperson for Norfolk County DA Michael Morrissey says no new evidence has emerged to warrant a new investigation. Although Morrissey has never used a judicial inquest for an officer-involved shooting, we should point out 2 DAs and a federal court sided with law enforcement in the Root case. As for the Root family, they've started a petition to seek a new investigation. They will deliver it to the U.S. attorney, the same one that launched independent investigations into the deaths of John O'Keefe and Sandra Birchmore. JC?
Glenn, thank you for that reporting. The death of a trooper while training at the Mass State Police Academy earlier this year raised some major red flags. Tomorrow on Commonwealth Confidential State of Policing, NBC 10's Bianca Beltran looks into the culture at the academy and uncovers similar concerns raised more than 30 years ago. That's tomorrow at 7 p.m. and again at 11.